Welcome to the Tradies In Business podcast with your hosts Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Divert your phone and grab a brew as Waz and Nic unpack tips, tales, secrets and stuff-ups from guests both inside and outside your trade, helping educate and inspire you to break the cycle of gut-busting and money stress and create a true trade business.
Hey, Coxie.
Hello.
I quit.
Again?
That's how I started the other one.
It is.
I can't remember which one I did, but I said recently on an episode, I think it was another one of these episodes where we say the naughty F word.
The Effort Friday
Yes.
episodes.
The Fudge It Friday.
So my accountant says fudge. He never swears.
He says fudge.
He says fudge.
Oh, there's a whole episode in that, hey?
There is.
When people say flipping or frickin' or
Yeah.
flaming.
You
or
may as well say the word.
just say fuck.
Exactly. We're in Australia. Everybody says it.
Just say fuck, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's don't say. That's
Fudge.
the South Park thing. Anyway, whatever your flipping choice is, flopping. If you're in New Zealand, it's your flopping choice. Flopping choice, bro. Choice, bro. Hey, I just put choice, bro.
More hate mail.
I'm trying to get as much as I can.
Apparently, Warwick at tradiesinbusiness.com.au.
Some mail would be better than none. What are we talking about today? Oh, quitting your day job.
Yes.
Is that because you heard me singing in the toilet before?
Yes.
Don't quit your day job, boys.
No, please don't. You'll be in all sorts of strife.
It's a big question, isn't it?
It's a question we get asked a lot,
Should
so
I
we thought
sing
we'd
in the toilet?
make a bit of fun out of it.
So should we sing in the toilet?
No, in the shower, yes. Toilet, no.
Right. It's a bit weird on the toilet. You know,
Any noise in the toilet is weird, actually. Let's call it for what it is. It's not stuff you want to share.
Okay, so toilet humour, right? And then
Here we go.
Then we'll get into the actual
Yeah,
thing.
it's obviously Friday.
Two things. One thing that kind of wigs me out is when people talk to you after you've entered the toilet and closed the door, and they continue
Girls do that
to
all the
talk.
time.
Yeah.
Girls do that because I think it's like, you know, when you're in high school, it's really embarrassing because it's noisy.
What, so everyone talks to each other?
They
drown out the
talk.
sound of it.
Oh, no. Far out. No, the twinkling. They're trying to drown out the twinkling.
Right. Okay.
See, boys are more au fait with the whole twinkling thing because right from the beginning, they stand next
Shoulder
to
to
each other,
shoulder.
get their bits out and go to the toilet. It's the
Well,
weirdest concept.
Technically, you only get one bit of your bits out.
Okay, well,
If you're
you
getting
do.
more than one out for a week, you're doing it all wrong.
Clearly, us girls don't have a clue. But you guys seem to be so much better at this stuff, and for girls, it's still quite embarrassing. So by the time you're in your 40s, which I might be, I often will be at a conference, let's say, with a bunch of girlfriends, and we'll all walk into the toilet talking. We continue talking all the way until we're walking back out again.
Even after you've sat down for a poo.
I don't poo in public.
But
Do you?
I find it off-putting if I enter the smallest room in the house and close the door and the conversation continues. It's like, I'm kind of busy in here.
So is that why it's more awkward for you? Because if you go into the room, there's a reason for entering the room.
If you
The
close
girls go
the
into the
door-
room full stop.
Yeah, see, for us, like the doors generally, there's no doors in the men's toilets when you're just tinkling. And so you can literally just, turn your head to the side and say, hey, mate, how you going? He's like, yeah, I'm pretty good now.
Now
I
that you've
wasn't
had a
so
look
good
at my
before.
bits.
No, you don't look down. Never look down.
This is freaking weird.
Just say, fuck, Coxie, you'll feel better.
No.
So that's one thing, right? And the second thing is I find it really difficult in the rare occasion that I actually use a public toilet to sit down because I have a thing about cleanliness and stuff. And I go into the public loo and one of the cubicle doors is shut and then you hear yeah, you know what I'm saying. You hear some fairly loud, expressive noises of all sorts of varieties coming from the cubicle. And it's like, I find it really hard not to laugh.
Do
Like
you?
out loud.
Really?
Childishly.
Oh, that's ridiculous. You're a 45-ish-year-old man.
Thank you. Little different to that, but I'll take it.
Take every year you
I'll
get.
take every 6 months I can get. Actually, no, it's more than that. So, that's two things I have about toilets.
Well, there you are.
Anyway,
I
we're
can
not
remember-
talking about toilets.
Somehow you drag us into this depths of despair every
It's
time we
the
do a Friday episode.
I wonder if this is why we don't get more pictures from big guests because they listen to our Bucket Fridays and go, what the hell?
Yeah.
So we've got interviews with, tax office and
Yes.
marketing gurus And then there's this stuff.
Yeah.
The high school boy toilet humour.
Yeah, that's Warwick.
You're welcome.
If it was up to me, we wouldn't go in the toilet.
There you go. Where would we go? Out in the lawn or something?
The lawn, yes. You can tinkle on the lawn if you like.
If you're at the races. Or a day on the green or something.
Yes, well, no, I still won't tinkle on the grass.
No public tinkling.
No.
Okay. Anyway, you had something serious to talk about, I think.
Yeah, how do we know when to quit our day job?
I don't have a day job.
I have a day job.
Oh. What's your day job?
Tradies in Business.
Mother? Oh, right. Okay.
Mother. Yep, that's a full-time life commitment. That one never goes away.
That's only a part-time job, isn't it?
Yes, apparently.
Oh.
My ex-husband used to think so.
I bet. How to know when to quit. So if you're working full-time and you want to transition into your trade business.
Yeah, okay, so this was a really valid question at various points in our business journey. I had always worked, as I've said so many times before, in pharmacy, high-level management in pharmacy for a pharmacy chain, and had done that for, I think it was about 15 years by the time I gave that away. And it was a really big question for us. How did we know the right time for me to quit my day job?
What's the answer?
There is no right time. If
What-
I was, well, actually, there's many answers. If I was you, I'd be saying when the money says that you can do it.
Maybe.
When
That's
the
part of it.
sum adds up. So that would be my first answer. But then my second answer would be when you can make the sum add up by adding value to the business.
Yep.
So recently, you and I were having a conversation with one of our drawing board members about what they're already outsourcing, how much money that's costing them, and the other jobs that they have potentially a need for help with. So we sat down and we wrote out a big job list for what a admin person could do for their job. They don't have partners that can work in their job, but we're looking for an admin person. So we sat down and we wrote a big list, and that list was huge and comprehensive, and immediately highlighted that the money they were already spending could actually almost be saved and made back simply by somebody coming on board to do a couple of those jobs.
Yep.
Things like chasing up a quote or chasing up an invoice or sending the invoice in the first place or making sure the safety paperwork's up to date or, I don't know, there are hundreds of things you can do to add value. So if you can find a way to start to add value within your first month, that would be my second answer.
Yep. So it's really a combination of all of those.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I heard something years ago in business coachy land that
The magical, mythical beast of business coachy land where there are unicorns and rainbows.
probably means some guy made some shit up
Yep.
and everyone went, oh, yeah, that's true.
Sounds great. Let's tell people
Yeah,
that.
let's put it on Google and make it true. But, you know, a rough rule of thumb was that if you could fund 3 months of someone's salary, then it was time to put them on. Now, I actually have seen people do it earlier than that, and it works out really well. And that's, you know, probably more like the example you're talking about,
Yes.
where can we afford to put someone on? Can the wife afford to quit her part-time or full-time job and actually come and work in the business? And sometimes, actually all the time, you can do the numbers till the cows come home, but you're just making an arbitrary decision about what the numbers need to look like before you feel like it's the right decision.
Exactly.
And ultimately, I think you just got to say, well, you know what? We're thinking about it. We've got a bit of a plan. Here's some things we could do to increase the chances that it works out, and just fucking do it.
That's my answer.
Is this
There's never
fucking
a
Friday?
right time. Yes,
This
it
is a
is
fucking
now.
Friday,
No,
okay.
it always was. But that's when I say there's never a right time. It's like, when's the right time to have a child? There's never really a right time. You make
No,
it
you
the
just
right
shouldn't.
time.
Just never do it.
No, of course you want to have kids. Well, maybe you don't. That's your choice. I don't mind. But
Yeah, but it is the same. You have to commit to it at some point, and you can do all sorts of analysis and ask everybody else's opinion and talk to us here on the show. You probably shouldn't do that.
not on a
in
Friday.
making your decision. Yeah, no, this is not a serious episode day. But it's like, you know what? Commit to it, and then what would you do? If you had
Yeah.
to do that, if you got made redundant from your job and you had to join your partner in the trade business, what would you do to make it work?
There you are.
And-
It's like if you're thrown off a building, you have to flap your arms to try to fly, don't you? And you might land a bit awkwardly, but, you know, you don't know what you can learn on the way down.
I like the analogy, but
Come on.
I think the impact is a little more catastrophic than
No, it's
getting
not.
wrong with the job quitting thing.
I can fly.
Is that because you identify as a bird?
I do, actually. A peacock. Excuse you, get off my tail.
You don't have much of a tail as a peahen,
No, I don't.
and sort of drab colours too.
But I'm a male. I identify as a
As
male
peacock.
bird.
Right.
I am
This
a
episode
peacock,
is definitely
not-
going in a different direction to what I anticipated.
It's Friday.
Toilet jokes and peacocks.
Well, there's some serious stuff in there.
Yeah, so in the middle there somewhere was something sensible that Coxie brought up. Thank you
We're
for
only
doing that.
10 minutes in.
I think it's the same with a lot of decisions in business. It's like, oh, how do I know when to do this? How do I know if I should put on a bookkeeper? How do I know if I should raise my rates? How do I? It's like, you know what? Just fucking go and do it and make it work.
Can I pick on one that you just pull one of those ones out there that you were just rambling about?
Uh-oh.
How do I know when to raise my rates?
If you said it, you should raise them.
Exactly.
That's how you know.
That's a great indicator.
If you're asking the question, how do I know if I should raise my rates?
Yep.
It's time to raise your rates.
You're so right. And how often do we sit with trade business owners and we know that they're too cheap? They're not charging appropriately. We had this discussion only this week with one of the other drawing board
you
members.
mentioned the drawing board. I was like, we just had this conversation with a couple of guys, a couple of electricians. And
Yes.
it's like, what's going on with your rates?
Yes, guys. Hello.
Yeah.
Let's lift those.
And I think, again, they're just arbitrary rules of thumbs that people like us pull out of our coits. And if
I don't have a coin.
Yeah, everyone's got a coin. If you haven't reviewed and increased your rates somewhere, somehow, whether that's materials markups or labour charge outs or consumables on the bottom of the invoice or an admin fee for late payments, like any of those ways that you should be recovering your costs. I need to recuperate after that sentence. Recovering your costs. If you haven't done that for, the last 3 to 6 months, it's too long.
Totally agree.
Because you go have a look at your bills that come in.
Yes.
When was the last time your power bill went up, your phone bill went up, your fuel bill went up, your stationery bill went up? When was the last time your costs as a business owner went up?
And do we ever argue about those, or do we just
Probably
cop it on the chin and walk away?
Yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, and the day before that. And all of those things are like termites. They're just chewing away at the foundations of your business.
Oh my God, you're leading so into the next question.
Oh, okay. This is going to be interesting. And they're destabilizing your business because it just eats away at your margins, and then something will happen. You'll bust your arm and you can't work on the tools for a couple of months, or a primary contractor or a builder or someone that you're doing work for, a customer, doesn't pay a $5,000 or a $50,000 invoice. And that can be enough to break you and bring down your house, not because of that one incident so much, but because you didn't do the other work pushing your rates up consistently over time, like every other business.
Absolutely. So you've just led into the one question.
Segue away.
What is the one thing we can do in business to improve our profit margin? You've just answered the question, right?
Yeah, it's and you know what? It's one of the big scary ones that everyone avoids. Most people we see avoid it.
Yeah.
And how much, like the people we have worked with that increase their rates, how much of a big deal is it after they do it?
Oh, well, it was easy to do, and then all of a sudden there's some cash flow. Hello.
And
Money.
Because one of the biggest fears from business owners is, oh my gosh, I'll put my rates up, I'm going to lose all my clients, or I won't win any more work. I'm already getting undercut by these other guys out there in the industry, and I won't be able to close these jobs. No one's going to use me because I'm going to be the dearest in the market.
And the world keeps spinning.
And the reality is that is a crock of shit.
It is. It's just an excuse.
It's your own head trash about it.
Yes.
And invariably we see time and again people increase their rates, and we're not talking about going from an $80 an hour plumber to $120 an hour plumber. We're talking about like $80 to $88
Yes.
or $90.
Small increases add up very quickly.
And just about nobody notices.
No.
And not only that, one of the ones I love is when our members talk about, and some of our clients that we work with in the drawing board and the trade desk talk about the fact that their customers tell them they're too cheap.
Yeah, that's a bit of a red flag.
Hello. It might be time to have a look at your charge outs and your markups.
Oh, we had one of those this week.
It's like, if your customers are telling you you're too cheap,
You're too cheap.
it's like, what? You
You're
can,
like
you can
so
probably double
cheap.
your rates.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy though. And I think it starts within. We don't value what it is that we're able to give. When we talked about this just
Exactly.
earlier today,
Yeah.
you were specifically talking about one of your young builder clients, and I was talking about my husband and how his identity was as a tradie. It wasn't as a business owner. And because he was identifying, if you like, to go back
Yeah.
to the peacock,
Yeah.
because he was identifying as a tradie and not as a business owner, he wasn't actually recognizing all of his skills and everything he brought to the table as that business owner, and therefore didn't charge appropriately. And it's so common.
So they don't value their time enough. They don't value their expertise enough with clients. You know, it's like that young guy that you mentioned. You know, we had a conversation about the fact that he's a professional advisor now. He has so much experience behind him and so many projects and so many mistakes that he's worked through that he's actually able to give professional advice to clients about how to bring their project to fruition in a way that honours the whole budget, quality, size, all that sort of stuff in a building project. And that's worth a hell of a lot more
It absolutely is.
than, and I'm doing the air quotes thing here, just a carpenter turning up to build a house or a deck or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Which is very valuable.
Of course.
But compared to great building company, plumbing company, electrical company, business owners, electricians, builders and plumbers are a dime a dozen by comparison, right? So there's this lack of self-value and self-worth that gets tied up in it. I think I talked about this on the guest spot I did with the Trademark boys a while ago as well, is, you know, tradies just, they undervalue themselves.
Always.
And it keeps them stuck. Because they go, oh, I can't charge $90 an hour.
No, I'm just a tradie.
Yeah, I'm a plumber. Plumbers can't charge more than that. It's like, well, I can find you plenty of plumbers who are probably charging $120. Talk to us about that.
Yeah.
How do you explain that one away, numbnuts?
Numbnuts. Sorry, numbnuts. He doesn't really mean it.
No, but that's that negative identity thing, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's how did we get to that from when to quit your day job?
Because you segued into all of the answers to the big
that's right. I
questions
talked
we've
about
been asked in the last
termites. Yeah, my daughter used to call them hermites.
week. Oh, that's so cute.
When she was about 4 years old, because
Hermites.
you know all the winged termites, the alates
Yes.
that come in summertime. Yeah,
I just
she'd
thought
see
they
them
were
all.
flying ants.
No, they're winged. They're called alates. So that's
So they're going to eat my house?
they're looking for a new place to set up a colony.
They can...
Go away.
Yeah. Not my house.
This is the cool thing about working with trades is you get to learn a lot about different trades.
I really always thought
So-
they were ants, just flying ants.
No. Oh, there are some flying ants, but same thing. They're flying the coop and looking for a new place to set up a home. So
Cheeky
when you get those
bastards.
alates, they've left a big nest of termites somewhere, and they're off to start a new one.
Well, they never asked permission to make my house their new nest.
You'll be out there with a can of Baygon next
You
week.
so know it. No, I don't use fly spray very often. I use a SWAT.
You're going to be pretty busy with a swat.
Sounds
There's
like
a
it.
lot of the buggers.
I have a lot of children. I'll set them all to work. They've got 2 hands each.
They'll all be swinging off the guttering trying to swat all these alates.
The new dog eats flies, so maybe she could eat the ant flying termite things.
She doesn't look like she would eat flies.
She really does. She's
Looks
so aggressive
too
about it. She's quite
Wow.
funny.
She just hates flies. And we hate cheap plumbers and electricians and builders that don't put
We
up their
don't
rates.
hate them. We
Oh,
love
it's a strong
them.
word. We want to love you into making change.
We want to love you into making some money. God damn it!
Well, and that's the thing. You know, it's like you keep your rates low. Go and sit down your wife and kids if you're a dude, or if it's a lady tradie, go sit your husband and your kids down, or your whatever, and say, hey, today I let someone use my services and my time for a lot less than they should have.
Oh, you've led into another great answer.
What's that?
You know when you just don't charge for that 30 minutes because you're the nice guy?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Do you know how often every tradie does that? Every damn
Way
week?
too often, yes.
You just took that money away from your family.
Yeah. So
It
when you
does my head
say,
in.
hey, we can't go to Bali this year because the business didn't make enough money. Wrong answer.
Absolute.
That's because you dropped your pants on that last job,
And how often do we do it as tradies?
or you rounded it down 15 minutes.
Oh, yes, I'll just give you a discount because I feel like I need the job. No.
I'm doing it to win the work though, Coxie.
No.
No?
No. Put a sales process in place.
I'm
You
doing
might win it
because
anyway.
They might tell everybody I'm too dear.
No, they won't. They're not talking about that stuff. What they're talking about is the great job you did.
There's other problems to be solved, like you alluded to, Coxie, with sales processes and marketing materials and websites and social media accounts and all the other stuff that creates a better perception than the other trades out there. And then you can absolutely charge $100 an hour
Of course you can.
with your eyes closed.
I just don't think anybody realises how easy it is to do. I challenge everybody listening to put your rates up 10%.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it, 10%. Do it today. I challenge you. Then give me some feedback on how that went. Just do it for a week even and see how you go.
And you know, the thing I love about that is everyone's working harder and harder to make more and more money to try and get ahead. When you actually charge what you're worth, what your true value is, and the level of service and quality that you as a listener give your clients, because I haven't met a tradie yet in our community that doesn't bust their ass for their customers and do a bloody good job. Mm-hmm. And so when you actually start charging what you're worth, you actually don't need to work any harder to get paid your true salary as a business owner, as a tradie in business. You don't need to take on any more jobs. You don't need to spend a shitload of money on marketing. You don't need to go to networking events. You don't need to do Facebook ads or Google AdWords or anything else. If you already have a fairly reasonable flow of customers and you charge what you are really worth, you don't need to do all that other stuff.
No, it's crazy.
And everyone's fucking around with Facebook marketing instead of actually charging what they're worth.
Yes.
And you don't need any more customers than you already get.
So there you are. We both challenge you to put your rates up 10%.
Did you get that message?
Just 10%. Just give it a try.
I need
Give
to
us some
take a breath.
feedback. Tell us what it's like. I'm going to get Warwick a beer because I think he needs some cooling down. But it's true, right? 10%.
Yeah.
It's such a small increase. You're not going to impact anybody directly. You're not going to upset anybody directly. Nobody's going to care about 10%. So do 10% today. And when you find you get the positive feedback
or a lack
via
of
money.
negative feedback, right?
Yes, good point.
When customers don't ring you up in droves saying, that's it, you're charging me 10% more than the guy that you were a year ago. And it's like, people don't even notice.
How often is it called the inflation rate? What's the right word?
Yeah, inflation.
Yes. It goes up all the time, right?
Yeah. And you know what? The people that complain about it, guess who they are? The
I don't
pain in the ass customers you wish you never had in the first place.
Oh, it's not.
Because they're the penny pinchers. They're the ones that are...
I like them.
They don't exist, do they?
No.
Yeah, you love those people.
Oh,
don't
I
you?
do.
Oh, you charged me an extra $3.72 on this particular plumbing item. Last time that was only $3.
You know the ones I really love?
Yeah.
The ones that want you to break apart your invoice.
Oh, yep, bad sign.
Yeah. Sorry.
Bad sign.
No. Can't do that. I'm sorry.
Sorry, we're booked up right now.
If you want to pay a $500 admin fee for me to do so, I'd be more than happy to do that for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see way too much detail on invoices, hey.
I think that
90-degree elbow, 73 cents.
Yeah, not
Straight
smart,
joiner,
guys.
92 cents. Like, don't do that. Just say, charge
Materials.
to fix your plumbing fuck up, $5,000. And with all the sales process and everything else
It
that we
won't
talk
even matter.
about and that our trade deskers are doing and our drawing board peeps are doing, that's what actually earns you the right to charge the right amount of money.
Jeez, this got really serious for a Friday.
Righto, I'm done. I'm cooked.
Maybe we'll both have a beer.
Tell us what you think. Have you put your prices up in the past? How did it go? Are you thinking about it?
Please
Are you
put 'em
thinking
up.
maybe you should? Have you quit your day job recently?
Oh, yes, please. We want to hear from the
Yeah.
people.
Oh, hang on.
Well,
If you game and you've done either of those things, quit your day job, or you're about to, and you're thinking about it, or if you've put your rates up, or you're about to, and you're thinking about it, we want you as a guest on the podcast.
oh, yes, please.
Oh, I'm glad you reacted that way
Yes, please.
because we hadn't talked about that.
No.
Yeah, we want to get you as a guest on the podcast, and we'll do you as a real tradie story.
That would be
we'll
very
talk to you,
cool.
we won't do you, but we'll talk to you
God,
as
now
a
we're back to
real
Friday.
tradie on the podcast. Or if you want to dob someone in,
Yes.
dob in a mate.
Dob in a mate.
Just make sure you send their phone number so we can pester the shit out of them.
No, I'm not going to pester people.
Bribe them. Sorry, bribe them.
Bribe them with
Yeah.
what?
We'll send them a pen.
Okay. I've got one here. It's purple.
It's not a branded pen or anything. It's
So
just,
if you'd like a purple
it's just
pen,
a cheap, half-used Papermate pen.
yes.
But yeah, we want to get a couple guests on the show from our listeners. We want you on the show.
We also want you to tell us who you'd like to hear from.
Hmm.
We have experts pitching us left, right, and centre to get on the show, and there are times where we think, no, but maybe it's someone you want to hear from. So tell us who you want us to interview.
Yeah. We want what you want.
We want what? Yeah, okay. We want what you want.
You know, as the listeners.
Yes.
Because otherwise we're just guessing and making shit up. Kind of like these episodes. Anyway, hit us up on Facebook. Send us a DM or a PM or however you say that these days. Why did it change from DM to PM?
I don't know. Was that a
Direct message to private
Facebook
message?
thing, maybe? Or maybe Instagram was one and Facebook was the other.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Now it's just send me an M.
And just send us an M, and we'll give you an A.
That's going to take off. You watch. It's going to go viral. And you heard it here first. You heard it here first.
I'm dying here,
on the
Coxie.
Tradies in Business
Dying
Fuck a
here.
Friday podcast.
I need something to lubricate my vocal cords.
Time for coffee.
It's a bit late for coffee. I'll be awake all night.
You have never said those words to me before.
No, I'm getting old. I've got to cut back. Anyway, send us an M and tell us who you want on the show. And if you've got the guts to come and be a guest on the show, we would love to do a real tradie story with you. A guy or a chick quitting your job, your day job, joining the business, or putting your rates up, or thinking about it. Get your vocal cords on the show.
Yep.
All right,
I want to do
stop
something
dribbling
clever
shit.
with my vocal cords now, but I can't.
Sing?
No, my throat's too dry.
Yeah, whatever.
So true. I
All
used
right.
to be able to sing.
Well, Coxie's going to go sing in the shower, and I'm going to go drink some coffee.
I'm just going to talk while I tinkle.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Tradies in Business podcast with Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Find out more about today's guest, tools for your trade business, and other cool stuff at tradiesinbusiness.com.au.